Caitlyn Jenner was famous for being an athlete before anything else. Although she struggled in class with her dyslexia, at the playground she excelled exceptionally. In high school, she played basketball, football, and ran track and field. She worked as hard as she played, which landed her a scholarship to Graceland College in Iowa to play for the Yellow Jackets. Playing football was going great until a knee injury shortly ended that. A college coach noticed Caitlyn's potential on the field and decided that maybe it should be placed elsewhere, like on the track. Caitlyn agreed since in high school she had ran track already. In 1970, Caitlyn took 5th at the Drake Relays, a very prestigious college track event in North America. Caitlyn took 3rd at the 1972 Olympic Trials, which landed her a spot on the team. Caitlyn then went on to the 1972 Olympic Games in Munich, Germany, where she took 10th. After graduating from Graceland in 1973, Caitlyn then took her talents to San Jose to train with other Olympic athletes to get ready for the next Games. While training, Caitlyn participated in the 1974 Nationals, where she took the championship. Then went on to the 1974 Games. In 1974, Caitlyn went on to win the national championship for track. In 1975, she won the French National. By the time 1976 rolled around, Caitlyn was in her prime and ready to take on the world, especially in the Cold War era, where the world seemed to be the Soviet Union, where their athletes were dominating every sport. In 1976, she flew to Montreal, where she took the gold, set a world record that wouldn't be broken until 1991, and was declared an American hero, where the iconic victory lap with the American flag on the back was coined by Caitlyn Jenner. While winning just about every award and being inducted into just about every Hall of Fame in the book, Caitlyn also decided not to stop there with her sports career. In the 1980s, Caitlyn decided to take on professional racing, where she then won another championship. While being named the greatest athlete in the world, Caitlyn received a lot of praise, winning lots of awards, being inducted into a lot of Hall of Fames, and also being put everywhere, from media to even the Wheaties box. In 1977, Caitlyn was even drafted by the NBA to play in Kansas City for the Kings, but she declined, saying that she hadn't played basketball since high school.
Caitlyn started taking hormones in the early 80s and also got electrolysis to stop her beard growth. She stopped after 5 years because she did not want her family to notice that she was starting to grow a chest. In 2007, Keeping Up with the Kardashians premiered, featuring Caitlyn as the loving but distant patriarch to the Kardashian family. In 2013, after Kris and Caitlyn separated, Caitlyn resumed taking hormones again. On April 24th, 2015, Caitlyn Jenner and Diane Sawyer sat down in an interview that was watched by 17 million people. That is the largest number of people that have watched Diane Sawyer's show in over 15 years. A month after the interview, Caitlyn appeared on Vanity Fair with the tagline, "Call Me Caitlyn," with a C for Caitlyn instead of a K for Kardashian, because Caitlyn wanted everyone to know that this was not a stunt to gain fame for the Kardashians. Caitlyn later went on to win the Arthur Ashe Courage Award, where she was met with a lot of praise for a very moving speech that she ended up giving, but also a lot of criticism for a lot of other reasons.
As Jenner said in her interview, one of the important words that comes to mind when talking about her transition is fortunate. She is very lucky to be white, to be affluent, to be a celebrity, and in many ways has avoided a lot of the big barriers that come for trans people in their transitions. One of the main privileges that is really lended to Jenner's transition is that she is cis-passing. And cis-passing people are very commonly considered to be of greater value than those who do not pass as cisgender. Cisgender passing trans people often face a lot less violence and discrimination. Meanwhile, the most targeted victims of trans violence are non-passing trans women of color. One of the biggest ways that this privilege can be seen is the fact that when trans people tell their stories, they're only heard or shared when they're cis-passing. It can be specifically highlighted in the fact that in almost any article or any interview or any conversation about a trans person in the media, people always default to talking about how beautiful the person is, how attractive they are, or how you could never tell if they were trans. I'm not even sure what that means. For further proof of this privilege, you can go and look up pretty much any article on Caitlyn Jenner, on Laverne Cox, on Carmen Carrera, or really any other famous trans person.
Interesting facts. Transgender people who choose to transition don't suddenly become different people. In the case of Caitlyn Jenner, who we've been discussing in this video, she still ran the decathlon and won the accolades she was awarded. She still was the parent on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and it does not matter. She gets all of the credit regardless of how you view her gender identity. Her pronouns still count as she, her, and hers. Caitlyn Jenner happened to give a lot of explanation and rationalization surrounding her transition, but that's not necessary for a trans person to be valid. You, as a viewer of this video and a supporter of the trans community, are not owed any kind of explanation or anything else to make sure that a trans person feels valid. Now let's be real. Caitlyn Jenner is rich and has a ton of resources at her disposal to transition in the way that she wants to and to become as passing as she is. But it's very important that we understand and realize and accept and know that not everyone can do this. Not everyone has the money or access to medical professionals who will help them. Not everyone wants to do this. Not every transgender person wants to transition. Not every transgender person wants to change the way that they look. So what did you think? Did we cover it all? Is there anything you want to hear us talk about in future videos? Make sure to post that in the comments below. Like, subscribe, follow us on all of our social media, and keep up with what we're doing. We're going to keep up with the news.